Flight Sergeant Norman Lockyer was born in Richmond, Victoria in 1916. He enlisted in the RAAF in 1942 and was stationed with number 466 Squadron, RAF Leconfield, Yorkshire. These are extracts from real letters that he wrote to his sister in Richmond. Iris is the woman he left behind. January 1943. Dear Lizzie, I've just had another aerogram from you and 2 or 3 from Iris, so I must answer them all before I go on leave on Saturday. Iris was writing from home on leave. I bet she was glad to be able to get home, even if it was only for a while. She writes a lot more when she's on leave. We saw 2 George Bernard Shaw plays recently in Hull, Man and Superman and Candida. They were very good, although only amateur companies. I'm expecting promotion to Flight Sergeant next week, which means a little more dough. Well, I must close now. With love to all the family. August 1943. Just a few lines to let you know that things are going fairly well over here, but the winter will be very hard to get used to. I'm dying to get back home already, but it's a bit too soon to hope for that, I suppose. I hope Norman and Beverly are keeping very well, and also yourself. August 1943. I'm taking time off to write this to thank you very much for the cable you sent for my birthday. I also got one from Mum and one from Iris. It's a good feeling to know that you're not forgotten by the folks at home, even though you're a long, long way away. I had a pretty miserable birthday, as I don't know any of the crowd at this place now, and we're very busy, working almost all the time, as you probably guess. So far I've had only 2 letters from Australia, beside those 3 cables. One from Iris and one from Sydney. November 1943. I just got back from a week's leave in London. Your aerogram, written on the 30th of September, was here for me when I got back to work. Also a letter from Iris. I must congratulate you on the new increase in the family. So glad you heard from Iris. Please look after her for me. November 1943. Just a few lines to let you know all about nothing at all, because that's all about, we're allowed to write about it these days. I'm going on another lot of leave on Tuesday, and I'm going down to London again, because I hope to meet some of our own boys that we came over with, although I'm afraid I will never be able to meet a few of them ever again. None of the old mob. Well, that's the way it goes, I suppose. You must think we're getting too much leave, but the whole crew has really earned it in the last few days. January 1944. We went to London again, and last Sunday the Sunderland Squadron played Aussie HQ football in Hyde Park, and it was great to see a good Aussie rules game over here. I took some friends from London, but try as I could not explain to them why we have 18 men instead of 11 and why we can grab the ball. Lots of love to you, and hoping to get back home sooner than we all expect. March 1944. You wanted to know what to put into parcels. Anything in the food line is always acceptable, especially tinned fruit. I suppose razor blades are as hard to get at home as they are here. If so, just forget them. April 1944. Just a few lines to let you know that we got back from our leave all right, even though we are on our knees a bit. This crew of mine give me a few more grey hairs every leave we go on. We have the reputation these days of being one of the craziest crews in Bomber Command. No wonder they call us GagginsCircus. We now have a great big circus tent painted on the front of our new aircraft. We have beautiful weather in London, and spent a couple of days lounging around the river. I felt a bit homesick when we went past Richmond in the steamer. Well, space is short and summer's closed now. With lots of love to all the family, your loving brother Norm.
Have you ever had to sort through a parent's things after their death? Yeah? You'll agree, I'm sure, it's almost unbearable, that it feels overwhelmingly intrusive. And that was me in 1996, wishing I didn't have to do this, when I came across a bundle of letters that no one knew existed. As I read them, I realised I had come upon a family mystery in the aerograms that were almost as thin as cigarette paper, the words written with a fountain pen. Written to my mother, nicknamed Lizzie by her brother Norm, there were references to a cousin who I remembered vaguely had been adopted out. And there he was, Norman, named after his father. And so, 50 years after the letters were written, the search for my missing cousin began. We discovered the surname of his adoptive parents. Hoping he'd kept his first name and that the family had remained in Victoria, we went through the electoral rolls. 20-something letters were sent out asking, "Are you the Norman our family is seeking?" And then the phone call that brought my cousin back into our lives. "Hello, I'm the Norman you're looking for." He has the letters now.
The Australian War Memorial holds a studio photograph of Norman Locklear, taken in 1942. He's wearing a fur-lined leather flying jacket and is smiling at the camera. I can almost smell the brill cream he has lavished on his slicked back hair. He has written, "To Mum, with all my love, Norman." On the 12th of May, 2 weeks after Norm wrote about steaming along the River Thames and feeling homesick, Halifax, Lima, Victor, 826 took off from RAF Leconfield, Yorkshire at 21:53 hours to bomb Hasselt Rail Marshalling Yards in Belgium. And the pilot was Eric Henry Gaggins. The rest of the crew was Donald Bowen, rear gunner, John Brooks, wireless operator, air gunner, Hugh Forbes, flight engineer, George Jemison, second pilot, Norman Locklear, mid-upper gunner, Peter Nichols, bomb aimer, Lawrence Nichols, navigator. The operation was part of a plan to interrupt German supplies and reinforcements prior to the Allied invasion of Normandy, which would take place 6th of June 1944. 15 aircraft from this squadron took part in the raid on Hasselt. 2 failed to return, and one of them had a great big circus tent painted on the front.